Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, back for another video on Marvel Strike Force here on Saturday. We have quite a few things to talk about, actually. There was a surprising amount of details that came out in the data mines for Friday, and of course, because of time differences, I am here recording it in my morning, which is going to be, well, most of you are asleep. But by the time this video goes out, hopefully we'll have a lot of things to talk about, because there may be some indications in the data mines that the roguelite game mode might be coming around quicker than we thought. Well, or at least it might be within the next week or so. And there also may be some indication from the data mines that maybe, but I'm not entirely sure, that the name of the roguelite mode might be the Danger Room. Or at the very least, there might be some relevance to or connection of the Danger Room and the roguelike game mode. Maybe there's going to be like a different, I don't know, different types of modes within it, or different levels, or whatever, what have you. I don't know if there's a ton of details out right now about it that maybe I just haven't been following, but there is some suggestion about the Danger Room in general that we're going to take a look at, and some more stuff today. So let's boil this down. Okay, so very quickly, I just want to do a quick recap of the blog. There's not a ton of stuff here that I really want to go over, but there's a few things, namely that we have the Hitmonkey Strike Pass. So I mentioned that in one of my other data mine videos. That's going to be coming Monday. We're also going to be getting the Harbinger Week 2. Now, the Harbinger Week 2 is also stated to have Hitmonkey shards. Now, the free-to-play pass would give you 40 shards. That's how it is right now anyways for Daredevil. And the Harbinger Week 2, we don't know. The jury's out. There is no table of how many shards we're expected to get, but that's at least what's going on, and so that's what you should expect from this. Also, I'm a little bit surprised, but the Shadow King trial is coming back for a round 2. And then we also spoke about the Negative Zone Harbinger Begins. This is related to this new Dimensions of sorts. I think that's honestly what it's just going to look like. Frankly, I think it's going to be a regurgitation-ish of the Fallen Dimension Omega in terms of the expectations of challenge and difficulty, so get prepped for that. And also, Red Justice is coming back. Songbird's going to be out next Tuesday. I should be able to get a video out for that. Hopefully, I can get that recorded in advance at least, and then Battle World is coming back on Tuesday. There is some changes. There's a little bit of changes to Battle World as well. We're going to take a look at in the data mines, and also Victoria Hand enters the Intel store. Now, this is interesting. The reason why is because now I'm starting to wonder whether or not the Intel store is actually going to be the primary method, or one of the primary methods in which people are going to get shards. And what I mean by that is that, are we kind of skipping traditional events in terms of unlocks? We do know that, we're going to get some Hitmonkey shards in here, but how many is the collective shards going to be? Are we still going to get 100? Is it going to be 100 from just the week 2, or is it going to be 100 in combination with the Strike Pass? What is the expectations here, and how much is the Intel store or the season stores going forward going to contribute into getting characters unlocked? That's still a little bit of a question mark, but nonetheless, Victoria Hand is going to be in 5 days, so that's going to be, I think, on Wednesday, right? So we have that going on. And then, of course, Songbird, blah, 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 Battle World, blah, 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 coming back, of course. And then some more red stars. I don't think that we're at 6 yellow for Null, though. Just trying to look at where my character's currently at sitting. Yeah, I mean, unless they're giving us more shards, usually it's 100 shards per run, at least at D5 anyways, and so that doesn't quite give me the 6 star, so I don't know. I heard that they're going to speed things up, but honestly, I'm not entirely sure about that. And then one thing that we're going to take a look at this a little bit more in depth tomorrow with some of the event stuff, because I do have some further details about the Negative Zone Harbinger beyond what's going to be listed here in the blog post. But it does seem like there's going to be 8 nodes, and then there's eventually going to be 16 nodes. So it talks about 16 missions, but just first 8 right now, and then I guess next month in June there's going to be 8 more, which is going to be possibly more associated with the Thunderbolts team. So you do need anyone with the Harbinger trait. They changed the way that it looks now. So in the game, you can see it's actually labeled under Chapter 1 Harbinger, and it does include all of the Vigilantes and all of the Thunderbolts. But of course, I guess if you bought Victoria Hand, you'd have her, and I guess maybe later on next week you would get Songbird, but it's still an incomplete team, and the way that most of these teams work requires you to have all 5 of them to do pretty well. So, I mean, I would probably just use the Vigilante characters at this point. What is going to be interesting, though, And I do want to stress this, and we're going to talk about this more tomorrow, but this will be the first kind of major event where PvE overpower is going to be at play. So do keep that in mind, because it does recommend, I'm pretty sure, doesn't it? Actually, so you need a minimum of 5 characters. There are no gear requirements, but it does say in the data mines, or it did say in the data mines, that is recommending gear tier 20. The enemies do have gear tier 20 on them, which basically means if you do not, for me, I only have Silver Sable. Basically, all of my other characters are going to get overpowered, because that's just how it is. They're going to be at 11, right? And then my characters are going to be at 10. So they're going to take more damage, and that's going to be a really interesting thing to see come Monday when this goes live. But again, we're going to be covering that in a bit more details tomorrow, because I think it takes a little bit more time to talk about. There's going to be a Cosmic Crucible 16 that's coming, and also the rewards from the negative dimension. I guess it doesn't say, it does say Crimson Gear. It doesn't specifically call out Gear Tier 20. We'll have to see whether or not this is actually worth it or not to run. But yeah, that's going to be on a Monday, so do look out for that. 3 rules for the Cosmic Crucible. There's going to be combat support, fortify, just different ISOs and shit. Raid on Crucible. This is going to be interesting. We have a raid room coming back for Crucible. It's been a little while. We have a couple of new teams, right? We have Vigilantes, although I'm going to keep them for offense. Uncanny Avengers, you could run them as well on defense, hypothetically, which might do something, perhaps. And then there's, I guess, the Thunderbolts team is not actually built out yet, but those would be the new kind of raid tagged kind of teams. And so Uncanny Avengers might be a little bit of an interesting one. And then the Spore Attacks room, we'll see if that's any fun. And then again, down below, we're going to have some special stuff for Harbinger Week 2, which is going to give you some shards for Hitmonkey. Again, we'll see how many it is. And then Battle in Raids, Battle in Battle World, which is going to be next week as well. And then some of the usual stuff that's in here, and you're going to get premium points for using the Thunderbolts at 5 to 7 Yellow Star, at least Songbird, and oh no, just Songbird. That was Victoria Hand as well. Just Songbird this week, so there we go for that. We'll cover that in more details in the event video tomorrow. I want to take a look at the data mines, though, because some of this stuff is pretty interesting. So let's dive over there. Let's dive over into my data mine scene here. Going to full screen. We have coming soon Gear Tier 20 Burst. Now, apparently, the other data miner out there has it suggested as Skill Gear Tier 20. I didn't personally see that myself. Maybe I missed a file somewhere. Maybe it is Skill Gear Tier 20. But what I saw was just a generic Gear Tier 20 thing. Now, this is very, if you guys know about the Silver Sable thing that's going on right now in game, the Silver Sable Burst is pretty much the same thing, right? You're going to do something pretty menial, you're going to do a blitz or something, and then you're going to have to buy the extra points, and that's just how it's going to be. That's just what Scopely is doing. It seems that maybe it's making some money, otherwise they wouldn't keep throwing this stuff out, so just keep that in mind. There's also going to be another Hitmonkey one. So basically free to play, you're probably going to get some Path to Hitmonkey shards. And then if you want to actually get Hitmonkey shards, then you're going to have to buy the offer in relation to that. Like the Silver Sable one that's ongoing right now. Hyperion, of course, is in the data mine. So essentially that just means the week after next, he's going to be coming out. No surprise there. His orb is called the Celestial Might Orb, his core orb. Also some new changes to Battle World Zone 3 Mission 2. So this is the Herald mission, and it is going to be, the new tag is going to be Global or Harbinger. Now, I don't know what this is right now. I guess I could check it in game. I don't know if this is making it necessarily any more difficult. One thing that I will point out, what's interesting, is that it's currently tagged as Harbinger tag, but the tag is not actually right, because I guess you can't see because I'm in the wrong scene, my bad. That the tag is actually called Chapter 1 Harbinger. So they actually have to have the full stuff stated, I believe, for it to work properly. So we'll see if that even works when Battle World goes live, or maybe they'll see this video and actually correct it, because that sometimes happens as well. Back to the datamines, and sorry for the weird zooms. And then we have Harbinger Week 3. So this has already been data mined. This is the week after next. Play raids, collect Harbinger orb fragments, and gather X cells from the Danger Room to earn rewards. Play raids with Hyperion to earn exclusive rewards. Now, there's a couple of things that could be. I talked about the Danger Room in the beginning. This could be an escape from Kiln. That is the only other thing that I'm kind of thinking about that this could be, if it's not the roguelite. We're going to talk a little bit more about the roguelite down below, though. So the points for this week 3, collect Harbinger orb fragments. Again, we don't necessarily know where that's coming from. Gather X cells from the danger room, okay? And then battle in raids with Hyperion at 567 yellow. We'll revisit the danger room thing again. We just had Source Satellite, so my only other interpretation of this would be that it is the name of an upcoming kiln, Escape from Kiln, but they're just renaming it the Danger Room, Escape from Danger Room, or whatever the fuck that's going to be. There is some new mods coming out for the Quasar Scourge, which is already labeled in game now. So this one here is Storm Warning. All raid abilities are active during this run. No surprise, because they want us to use Thunderbolts and Vigilantes. So that's going to be available for that one. Harbinger of Annihilus. Substantially increase the speed, damage, armor resistance, and focus of Quasar. Now that makes it sound like maybe there's going to be a Quasar boss, right? Somewhere on one of the nodes, probably on the final node, right, is going to be Quasar, and you're going to have to fight him. And then in order to get additional points, you're going to have to put this on, which is going to be, a hit against you, obviously. This will depreciate in power on the next run. Maybe? So maybe it's really hard the first time, and then like the second month that this comes back around, it's not as bad. Home field advantage. All city characters gain plus 15% crit chance and 10% crit hit damage. But the player's villains characters on your side lose minus 20% damage and 20% max health. So all city characters, meaning including the players, but specifically players' villains characters, lose this. So that's pretty interesting. There's a couple of more mods. I don't exactly know if it's associated with the Scourge. This could actually, you know what, now that I'm thinking about it, this is probably associated with Battle World, because back above here, when we had the changes to Battle World Zone 3 Mission 2, I think that this is probably this one here. So this is going to be Thunderbolts. On spawn, Yelena Belova, Red Guardian, Winter Soldier, and US Agent gain the Thunderbolts trait. Have their max health, damage, armor, speed, resistance, and focus substantially increased. So a call out to the movie, obviously. I've already made my thoughts about this, that the fact that they didn't bother to rework or even include the team tag on these characters normally is really disappointing. Also, maybe that boss is Void Knight, and that's what this is here. Void Knight gains plus 20% speed bar when attacked and is immune to stun, ability block, exhaust, exposed, and speed bar reduction. So this very well, these two things here could be related to Battle World here. Keep that in mind there. There is also a mod for Songbird called Swift Songbird. Songbird will act first. I have no idea what this is in reference to. And then ID guest name Hyperion. So Hyperion will join your team in this battle, pair him with Thunderbolts for maximum effect. Again, this could be the showcase, but it could be something else as well. There could be like a place where Hyperion just shows up as an NPC in one of the events upcoming that I'm just not sure where that's coming from. And then there's another one, a mod, A Dream of Krakoa. On spawn, all mutants gain the X-Men trait. So that's pretty interesting. That could be a Scourge mod. It could be something else entirely. It could be for Battle World. There's lots of places that use mods. Now, there is also a ton of mods related to the roguelike game mode with the following themes. I'm going to show you what it looks like actually in the second half of the video here. So basically a lot of stuff that shows bleed mechanics, basic or generic buffs, specifically team buffs to Starjammers, Vigilantes, and Thunderbolts. And then there are specific character buffs, including some of these characters: Carnage, Thing, Doctor Doom, Mysterio, Mr. Sinister, and Adam Warlock, and then a lot of stat and buff, debuff related mods. So we're going to jump into that. I'm going to show you this. We're going to go into full screen mode here into this. Now, my apologies for the white. I know people hate this. So you can see these are the Scourge cards that are basically listed. But if we scroll down here, there's the Thunderbolts, Hyperion, and stuff like that. The Krakoa, Dream of Krakoa. This. So you can see that the ID, I'm going to zoom in a little bit further, but you can see that the ID is labeled as RL. Basically, it's RL as in roguelite. And then you can see Bleed, RL, Bleed Energy, the names of these mods. So Energy Vampire, Frenzy, Entry Wound, Exploit Weakness, blah, blah, blah. Bleed Extra Damage, Bleed Defense Down, Bleed on crit. Sorry, I couldn't even read that properly. Basic Momentums. So these are all labeled as basics for roguelite. And then Starjammers roguelite. You can see some of the mods: Duck Duck Groot, Summer Brothers. If Havoc and Cyclops are allies, Cyclops gains plus 50% primary stats. It's pretty interesting here. We have Speed Jammers. On spawn, fill speed bar for Starjammers by 3% per, I don't know, wherever the hell it says further down. I didn't, I'm not going to go into full details on all this because I don't think it really matters right now. But what this does show is that they're preparing, or it's in the game. these files indicate that they are like programmed into the game so that they just need to flip a button, flip a switch, and then it goes live. So a lot of these roguelite mods, Star Battery, We Are Groot, Rocket Plus Groot, Cyclops in Space, Son of Celestial, Star-Lord gains stuff. So that's interesting, even though he's not a Starjammers, but it's labeled under the Starjammers buffs. Vigilantes, Monkey's Paw, Barrel of Monkeys, Hanzo Steel, Incapacitate, Monkey See, Monkey Do, and a bunch of other ones down here. Raid rules, where the raid bonuses are activated. So that's pretty cool. Some Thunderbolts ones. Rolling Thunder, On Enemy Death, Thundering Duet, Second Verse, blah, blah, blah. So there's a lot of stuff down here. And then finally down here, it's just labeled as none, but there's a bunch of characters on here. So Carnage Boon, when an enemy drops below, I guess it's mimicking Carnage's passive here. Here's the thing on attack. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's not an actual buff for these characters, but it's mimicking sort of things that these characters do. Doom's Boon, when an ally drops below 50% health, generate 1 ability energy for that character and fill their speed bar by 50%. So, okay, I think that's more what it's doing, not that it's actually buffing those characters. Mysterio's Boon on allies basic. Clone that ally. This can only happen once per match. Sinister's Boon on ally ultimate. Clone the enemy with the highest damage. This can happen only once per match. So these are pretty cool stuff. Like, it's pretty interesting. And I really, really hope that this is the kind of stuff that we need. This I said this with Battle World. I really hope that this roguelite game mode is what they need to turn the game around. And I feel bad saying this, but it's just that they've had one step forward, 2 steps back, like every other week. When it comes to overpowered, I don't think really, I guess we've learned to accept it, but I don't want to accept it, right? It's just that these things have not been positive for the game. I think we're continuing to see a decline in the player population, which maybe I'll get to check towards the end of this leaderboard event, but I really hope that this does well for everyone, for the players. I hope this is fun. So there's a lot of stuff going in, again, I'm not going to go over all this. It's not necessary because I don't really know the extent of what this means in terms of the game mode itself. I just know that they're preparing this, and this is looking like it's coming pretty soon. So lots of stuff here, generic stat stuff, talks about trauma and safeguard and all sorts of other crap. Allies gains extra stats and all this stuff. So lots of stuff on the horizon coming at us pretty soon. So, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Roguelite coming soon. Again, the Danger Room could be one or two things. Either the roguelite is coming that fast, and that is the name of the start of the roguelite game mode, or the Danger Room in week 3 of the Harbinger is going to be something completely different, and it's maybe an escape from Kiln. So I can't verify this at this point. Obviously, I don't have in-depth details of the roguelite game mode in terms of the envoys would know a lot more than I would at this point. I'm sure that they know more specific details they're not allowed to talk about, but this is just what's shown in the data mines that I want to share with you guys. So there's some big things coming pretty soon. Now, in tomorrow's video, we're going to be talking more in details about the events on Monday. We're also going to go into larger detail about the negative zone Harbinger, because there are the enemies that are out as well. So I'll see you guys on tomorrow's video, and have a great rest of the day. And if you like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and you'll be greatly helping out the channel. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the next one.